How much damage can water cause to an engine? In this episode, we are tearing down the Suzuki TST250 engine. Water entered it while the engine was running. Let's see how severe the damage is. We can already see some aluminum debris. Look at that huge pile in the bottom right corner. This situation happens when the water level exceeds the air filter, causing water to enter the engine through the throttle body. Let's take a look at this pile of debris. I'll show you which parts they belong to. This piece is from the piston. This is a crankcase bolt. This is the cylinder sleeve. This looks worse than being hit by a hammer. This one is also from the piston. And here are shards from the crankcase. Let's keep tearing it down. And the real show begins. Now let's see how badly it got wrecked. Of course, many riders will ask, how can we avoid this situation? In this video, I will also explain what to do if your engine gets flooded. If the water level goes above the air filter. In this scenario, there is a high probability that water has entered the combustion chamber. At this point, never try to start the engine again, because water is incompressible. Inside the combustion chamber, a piston hitting water is no different from hitting a steel plate. This engine is a textbook example. You can see it for yourself. So once water gets into the combustion chamber, if you want to start it again, you must remove the spark plug first, crank the engine a few times, and ensure all water is drained from the chamber. Let's look at the cylinder block. The cylinder sleeve inside is completely smashed like this. You can even see traces of water rust. Cast iron sleeves rust very easily when exposed to water. If it were an aluminum alloy cylinder, soaking in water would be fine. Look at this piston and this connecting rod. The piston debris we saw earlier belonged to this. Look, the connecting rod is snapped completely. So, hitting water in this state is no different from hitting solid iron. Riders, you must keep this in mind. If water gets into the combustion chamber, you must unscrew the spark plug first. Then let the starter motor crank it freely for a few rounds. Of course, there's another issue when water gets into the crankcase. This situation is actually easier to handle. Let's look at this crankcase. This crankcase has basically blown open. Who did this? It must have been the connecting rod. If water gets into the crankcase, drain all the water out first. Then find some cheap engine oil. Pour it in, and warm up the engine. After it warms up, let it idle for a few minutes. Remember to keep the bike stationary. Do not put any load on the engine. After flushing, drain the oil. Repeat this process 2 or 3 times. This side of the case is also completely ruined. So, that is the solution for a flooded engine. Of course, you must do it promptly. If you delay, everything inside will rust. This connecting rod was brutal. Every single spot it could hit was not spared. People always say the Suzuki 250 is durable, but even it can't survive this. Fortunately, parts for this engine aren't too expensive. They are cheaper than parts for domestic Chinese brands. The owner wants it repaired, so we'll replace the pair of crankcases. The clutch plates are fine. No issues there, but we'll change the ruined connecting rod. Using parts from a donor bike. The oil strainer also shows signs of impact damage. To be safe, we'll replace it with one from a donor bike too. There are marks from the impact, so it's somewhat deformed. Inside this case, only this gear is fine, along with the shift forks and the shift drum. The crankshaft and balancer shaft below, none of them can be reused. Look at this connecting rod. We originally thought it was fine, but looking closely after removal, it's finished too. And the way it bent is quite bizarre. Look at all these shards and debris. Fortunately, the balancer shaft is fine. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up.